everyone. I hope that you are well and keeping safe. My name is Naz Fredericks, and I'm the Initiate Project Lead for Initiate Africa, which takes place during African Utility Week and Power Gen Africa. I'm super excited to be joined by two innovators and also members from our Initiate Young Talent Challenge winning team from 2019. These innovators hail from Strathmore University in Kenya and did not stop at the Initiate Young Talent Challenge, as they then took their innovation international and won bronze in the Efficiency for Access Design Challenge. The team's design project, Kiyegga, is a solar-powered container for rural communities. Allow me to introduce these two innovators to talk a little bit more about their experience with Initiate and their recent virtual trip to London to participate in the Efficiency for Access Design Challenge. I'm pleased to introduce you to Ignatius Maranga and Raymond Kiega. Hi guys, and welcome. Firstly, congratulations. I am sure I and many others are so proud of you and excited to hear more about your experience so far.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ignatius, let's start with you. Tell us about your journey with Initiate and what has winning the Initiate Young Talent Challenge done for you.
So first of all, the Initiate Challenge was very random. I mean, it's one challenge of a kind because it sought for individual participants to apply for the challenge. Then a random 4 people, I mean the best 4 from the university, were selected to participate in the challenge. So these were 4 people whom we've never worked together and we did not know. I mean, so it was very interesting. So we were meant to go to Cape Town, and in our minds, okay, at least for me, I knew I was going for a holiday because there were 2 design questions that we were meant to solve, but then we were only told to solve them in 3 days. Okay, so the experience was amazing. We got there. We were very busy all the 3 days. It was not a holiday, shock on us. But then we spent the whole time trying to solve one of the questions. You're meant to select one of the 2 questions. So that was a very interesting experience in this challenge. It's very unique and creative. And so the experience, I mean, what I gained more in winning after Initiate, I mean, the benefits I would say I got from this was first attending the Africa Utility Week. I've attended the East African Utility Week 3 times and presented once. So this was amazing because this is bigger than the East Africa Utility Week. Then also the networks made during the challenge and the Africa Utility Week networks we still have to date. They are amazing networks, and the exhibition as well. We met several companies there. And also the experience of working with these team members, 4 guys from Strathmore whom we've never met before, and coming up with this idea, winning the Efficiency for Access Challenge, and also getting to travel to Russia to visit nuclear plants and universities there. Yeah.
Wow. Raymond, what is your personal take on the Initiate Challenge, and how has this impacted your life and career this far?
Well, to begin with, I'll just add an idea or 2 from what my colleague Ignatius has just talked about. I remember one of the things we did when we arrived in the 3 days as we were trying to come up with a solution for the Initiate Challenge. One of the things we say, why don't we just stroll around the exhibition and see what different ideas are there. So as we're working on the exhibition, we actually landed on a 6-in-1 solution for computers that we actually added to our Initiate Challenge solution, Kiyegga, that we just came across in one of the exhibitions. So for me, that having the students trying to come up with solutions by actually using existing technologies that were presented during the Africa Utility Conference or Week, for me that was very amazing, because if we didn't go through that exhibition, we would not have come up with such a brilliant idea. So that's one thing that I really appreciate. So you have both industry, academia, and also the students coming together to come up with some of these solutions, which precisely is what Initiate is all about, having to create synergy for all these different stakeholders to be able to come up with innovative solutions. And then the second one was an opportunity I got during Initiate. So we were called and asked, how many would like to be interviewed for a small video on a channel? Like, well, I'm up for it. So I'm very glad that I was able to be interviewed by ESI Africa Journal. I remember the lady who actually did that interview was by the name of Claire. So seeing myself on TV talking about the initiate and what we've gone through was very, very good and very fulfilling. So for me, that's what I can say. And this I've kept on, leveraging on and trying to see that we get international recognition. So that was a very good experience for me.
Wow. I'm super glad about that. So guys, as part of the Initiate winning team, your team won a trip to Russia to visit the very first nuclear plant in the world and 2 Russian universities. How was that experience for you? Raymond, can you start with you?
Yeah, sure. First, I would like to thank the team that actually sponsored all our costs. I think this was Rosatom. So he sponsored all our costs from the trip to the hotel, to the food, to the traveling and everything else. That was very good. And personally, I had never set foot out of Africa. Wow. So I've been in Africa, born and raised in Africa, and this is where I've been my whole entire life, in Uganda in particular. So finding myself in Russia was extremely amazing. I mean, it's the farthest of places I never imagined myself to be in. And then also the team with which we traveled with was very exciting, very friendly. And up to today, we're still in touch with some of the African students that we went with. And then also the universities that we visited there, we found our nationals also participating there and studying in Russia. So it was very good to also find someone you can easily relate with and speak the common language with over there. But most importantly, visiting the nuclear plant was very exciting because one of the things that we were told is that you're going to sign in this visitor's book, and it's only high-profile people who have the ability and the money to come to Russia to visit the first nuclear plant who get to sign here. So seeing my signature on that piece of paper was very fulfilling, in the same space with these high-profile leaders who visit this place. So that was inexplicably awesome.
Wow. You're giving me goosebumps just listening to your experience. Ignatius, was it very much the same for you?
I mean, yeah, it was very similar to Raymond's experience. Just to add on, I mean, visiting the nuclear power plant, getting to learn more about nuclear energy, being also, I'm interested in power systems as well as an engineer. I mean, that was a great experience. And not only that, also experiencing winter. This was the first time I was experiencing winter, getting to see snow. I mean, that was kind of fun as well. And being in another part of the world that you've never imagined that you'll never get there. I mean, it was a great experience. Also visiting 2 universities, and they're pretty old universities, like one Tomsk University, where we learned the guy who made the periodic table, I think, had a student who studied there, Mendeleev. I mean, it was an amazing experience for sure. Yeah, and also learning the Russian culture and visiting the Kremlin. It was interesting. It was amazing.
Okay, so I know, I'm just going to throw this one in there. So I know that you guys didn't really get to experience Cape Town. So I want to know, did you guys build a snowman when you were in Russia with all that snow?
Well, we hit each other with snow. That one was for sure.
Oh, wow, that's brilliant.
And then also the ice park was very exciting. So we played on ice slides and so many ice monuments were over there that we played with.
Actually, there's a whole park that was made from ice that Raymond and I visited, and it was amazing.
Wow. We don't really have snow in Africa, so that must have been quite the experience, hey? So guys, let's talk a little bit more about the Efficiency for Access Design Challenge that was due to take place in London. But due to the current global pandemic, you had to conduct this challenge online, completely digital. So Ignatius, this must have been challenging over and above the actual challenge. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah. I mean, the efficiency for access was also another interesting challenge because it was one of a kind. The challenge took about 9 months, or let's say 8 months roughly, because it began in September. Mm-hmm. So there were several webinars that were meant to watch to help us coming up and building up with the idea, developing the idea. So this was an interesting, I mean, it is a long journey, Then we got to a point where we developed a concept note for the idea that we had, this idea that we got from inception at Initiate. And while coming up with the concept note, we were assigned to a mentor, a very good mentor. His name was Chris, I think, yeah. Which was also amazing. So with Chris, I mean, we had discussions for about 2 months on how to improve the concept note and come up with a final report, looking at different sectors of off-grid energy and solving the problem of electrification in the rural areas. So I mean, we learned a lot because it was continuous over a long period of time. Then we also went to pitching in June. So we pitched our idea, and our results were announced on June 25th, and we were among the winners. We got bronze. Though unfortunately, we really wanted to be in London because we also wanted to get the experience of visiting London and getting to see monuments in London, you know, Big Ben and other visiting other places in London. But we learned a lot from the whole process.
Wow. Yeah. Raymond, do share in your sentiments mentioned by Ignatius. So do you have somewhat of a different view? I'm sure you definitely do agree with Ignatius that you really wanted to visit London, right?
Yes, for sure. My view would be, I mean, being part of a team that, you know, is trying to come up with a design that is affordable and supporting the technologies that we currently have from an off-grid context was, you know, very, very exciting. And then, of course, Ignatius talked about our mentor, Christopher Sim. I mean, he was interacting with people he's never seen before. I mean, you know, just a bunch of students from Kenya, and here they are, you know, taking up most of his time. But I'm really glad that he was very supportive, trying to teach us existing ways of doing things in the industry, existing solutions on how to come up with innovation. So I'm really glad that, you know, was assigned a mentor who was very supportive. So that's something I really appreciated, and I learned a lot that sometimes you just have to offer it the best that you can to bring out the best in the other party. So it was very good. And Ignatius has talked about, you know, the different teams that were participating. Just for the point of record, there were only 2 African universities. I stand to be corrected. But it is only Maranga and Strathmore that made it, and we took the first position. So that was very, very exciting, having to know that we're putting Africa on the map.
Yes, definitely.
And Raymond is lucky to have studied in both Makerere and Strathmore. So
wow. I'm very proud of you guys. I mean, you definitely are putting Africa on the map and also highlighting the talent that we have in Africa. So I'm sure that you both learned some really innovative and strategic ideas. Are there any teams and innovations that really stood out for you during this challenge?
Well, first I will highlight, I mean, the teams we met in Cape Town were among the most brilliant minds and teams I've met, for sure, because there were 3 other teams so there was a team from University of Cape Town, there was a team from Wits, and there was a team from Stellenbosch. I mean, they're also because every evening we stayed in the same hotel. So every evening we'll get to interact and get to listen from them and the ideas. I mean, they were very exciting. And there's something I actually got from a team from UCT. Even though all teams were brilliant, but I really liked the idea of hydrogen fuel cells. Well, I know this is research that is undergoing and coming up in the world as a way of energy generation. So that is actually something I even go and look into and would like to get into. Thanks to that, I got more interest from that, and I mean, it was getting to meet these guys was amazing, and keeping in touch with them today.
And Ignatius, how were the teams from the Efficiency for Access Design Challenge?
Okay, well, from the Efficiency for Access Design Challenge, we did not get to meet the teams closely or interact with them closely as we did at Initiate, because you see, at Initiate for 3 days, actually it was 4 days, we were with these guys from other teams. While for the Efficiency for Access Challenge, you only met during the pitching, the day when we were meant to pitch. And you see, now we did not get enough time to interact, although we got to listen to pitches from 3 other teams, from Swansea, Makerere, and forget this other university, UCL. So they also, I mean, brilliant ideas, but then we did not get to interact very much. Yeah.
Brilliant. And Raymond?
Yeah, yes, of course. We with a bias of wanting to be the best, no doubt there were some very exciting projects from that competition. I mean, as Ignatius has said, we were not able to see all projects as they were pitching. So in the group in which we were, we only had 3 pitches, and I was very fascinated by one of the projects from the Makere team, a solar-powered fish dryer. So for me, that was a very simple solution, and yet capable of so much capability, which reminded me of our Initiate project, because we presented Kijiji solution knowing that, well, this is something very simple. I mean, other teams are really going to come up with very sophisticated ideas. How are we going to win them? But we emerged winners. So that particular team reminded me of the previous experience in Cape Town. So that's a project that stood out for me.
How are you both going to use these experiences in both the Initiate Young Talent Challenge and the Efficiency for Access Design Challenge to help you build your future growth and career success?
First, I gained a lot of experience and networking from the two challenges. And teamwork was one of the key skills that I got in strategic thinking, also thinking critically. But then I intend to mentor. Mentorship is one great thing. I mean, being involved in 2 challenges and winning is not something easy. I mean, we gained a lot of experiences, which personally I would want to share to other teams and students who might want to explore such avenues. So rather than mentorship, also with these ideas, you see, we came up with ideas that aim at solving problems that you are facing. So like Kijiji is a company that we're actually forming. We're in the process of forming the company and seeing it live to what to the purpose why we actually thought about it: rural electrification and access to electricity to people in remote areas. Yeah.
Wow.
Basically giving back to the society.
Oh, wow.
Let's talk about the international recognition. I think for me, that's been the greatest achievement that participating Initiate that has given the rest of the team, because we've been able to apply to other competitions, energy, for example, the efficiency for energy access being one of them, and leveraging on the same solution that we provided then. So if you are to maybe apply somewhere for consultancy or apply for anything, whatever it could be, knowing that you have an international platform where actually someone can get to see what you've offered the world, for me, that's been the greatest achievement, and it's what I intend to leverage on from now, even thereafter. I mean, we're having this interview right now. I don't know how far it would lead us, but who knows? So for me, international recognition has been one of those greatest achievements, and what I would like to use for my success and the rest of the team.
Okay, wow. Do you regret taking part in the Initiate Challenge, Raymond?
Not at all.
I'll be surprised if you say yes.
And you, Ignatius?
Definitely not. I mean, Initiate was an experience of its kind. Cape Town is very beautiful. Rather than that, also the networking and meeting guys. I mean, but also the visit to Cape Town was amazing, and we got to learn a lot about South Africa and seeing the Table Mountains, going to the waterfront. It was an amazing experience.
Brilliant.
I would regret not participating in it again.
Yeah. I mean, I want to visit Cape Town again.
I'm cognizant of the time. However, before we go, would you recommend the Initiate Young Talent Challenge to any of your fellow peers, and why? Ignatius?
Yeah, definitely. I will recommend Initiate to students and guys who want to attend Initiate. And they already do. I mean, I've been sharing posters. Before also the lockdown for guys to attend Initiate. Because the experience is gained at Initiate. I mean, first, you will get to learn how to work in a team. That's a very important skill. 2, you learn how to think strategically and come up with solutions fast on the hand. I mean, then the experience of also attending the Africa Utility Week, networking, the people you meet there, making friends, I mean, from other universities, still also friends from your university. And also traveling. I mean, I guess not all participants of Initiate will come from South Africa or Cape Town.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, that was also an amazing experience. So I'll definitely introduce this to any students. And of course, the international exposure that Raymond also mentioned, visiting Russia, getting to participate in other challenges where you also win. I mean, it's great.
Brilliant. Raymond?
Definitely, I would gladly recommend. I mean, all the initiate young talents, those that are yet to come, and in the near future. I would like to maybe comment more from a quote that I learned from a doctor friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Start the way you want to end, and the same psych and oomph that you write that application for the initiate should be the same psych that you will proceed with throughout the entire competition. And just wait for the opportunities. They will come. They will definitely come. And that's one of the things that we've gained a lot from the Initiate Challenge. So it's something I would love each and every other student who has the ability and capability to join in to go for. I mean, just go for it.
Awesome. It's like they say, hey, just do it.
Yeah,
just do it.
Thank you for your time today, Ignatius and Raymond. I really do appreciate you sharing your experiences with me. And I look forward to chatting to some of your other teammates next week and hear their take on their experience with Initiate. Stay safe and keep on being the rock stars that you are. Kwaheri.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Nazli. Kwaheri. Also like to thank NL Foundation, Rosatom, Lesedi, and of course Clarion Events. I mean, without them, all this will not have happened. Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys. Keep safe, hey?
Thank you.
Stay
Ciao.
blessed.
No,
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.